Oh, I sure did. I didn't want to bite.
We're rolling.
Yeah, to save those.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the TUD special board meeting of May 20th. It is just slightly after 1 p.m. And I guess we'll open it up with a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, for all.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So we will open up things with a public forum. We'd like to welcome the members of the public who have taken the time to attend this meeting and provide comments on matters related to district business. Any member of the public may address the board relating to any matter within the board's jurisdiction. This section is for comments on items not listed on the agenda. Persons speaking during the public comment will be limited to 5 minutes, or depending on the number of persons wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. While no action or discussion may be undertaken by the board on topics presented in this section, board members are listening carefully to those comments. Appreciate your input. Please don't rush, everyone, run over anybody to get to the podium. Right, seeing none. Melissa.
Okay, closed session. A, conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8, property APN 085050001 et al. Agency negotiators Don Perkins, Jesse Barton, and Tom Johnson. Other party to negotiations, Mike Schoner, Pacific Gas and Electric Company, under negotiation, price and terms of payment.
Okay, with that, then we will turn the meeting for the closed session and get done with that. We'll be back, turn her back up. So away we go.
We're live.
Okay, gonna bring us back into session. We had no reportable action from the closed session. So with that, Melissa,
Okay, consent calendar. Item number 1, minutes of the regular board meeting of April 22nd, 2025, and special board meeting of April 24th, 2025. Item number 2, approval of reimbursement claims for director's statement of meetings attended and/or travel expenses and claim summary for April 2025.
thank you. Anyone want to pull an item? No, I do. I would like to pull the claim summary. And on page 4 of 17, this one looks kind of interesting. California Department of Fish and Wildlife, fish stocking permit, Westside Reservoir, Tuolumne Water Treatment Plant. Is that for mosquito and algae?
Yes, just to improve overall health and quality of the water in the pond.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
I think it's 5 different fish.
So we get to take our fishing poles out there?
No, not for at least a year.
Okay.
It takes a year for them to get comfortable, situated.
How often we do that?
This is our first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
after we cleaned the reservoir, we thought we would get the fish back
Mhm.
and it just never happened. And so we've struggled there and we just really feel it's going to help with controlling the water there.
Okay, so, all right. So that answers my next question. This is a result of the pond cleaning and getting us back to where we were before we had the problems.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, thanks.
What, as long as we're talking about that, and I don't want to belabor this too far, but I had drawn up something for the silt in order to control the silt, and I don't think that was ever done. But what are we doing about silt from here on out? Because that was quite a project to de-silt that pond.
So we built a berm,
Okay,
downstream of where the water does come in, to try and help mitigate that, to try and make a basin where it'll hopefully settle out before it goes
Right.
throughout the whole entire reservoir.
great. Okay, thank you for that. And then on 7 of 17, Foothill excavation, sewer on-call projects. That sounds kind of interesting. What are we doing there?
Rich put out 5 different projects that we weren't able to get to internally. So it went to the on-call contractor list and then they did those 5 projects for us.
Is this an ongoing thing?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
So when we get in a bind, we've got somebody we can go to.
yes.
Oh, that's great. Okay. That's it for me. Any further questions or comments? How about from our audience? None? Okay, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, passes 5-0. Melissa,
Okay, regular business. Item number 3, consider approving a leak adjustment request in excess of $1,000.
who's up?
I'm up. All right, so this item in front of you today is to consider approving a leak adjustment request. And the reason why this one is coming to the board is because our leak adjustment policy states that any leak adjustment that would result in an adjustment to someone's bill by more than $1,000 needs to come to the board for approval. And so this is one of those situations where the leak and forgiving half of the water that was assumed to be used because of the leak is in excess of $1,000. It's about $1,880.49. And also I wanted to point out that in my board report, there is one area where it should have a period instead of a comma. Director Ringen noticed it, so thank you for noticing that. That was silly. Must not have had my glasses on that day. So anyways, if this was to be approved, it's in the fiscal impact where that period wasn't in there. But if this was to be approved, it would decrease our water revenue by $1,880.49. And the customer would receive a credit on their bill for that amount. They'd still be responsible for the other half, which is $1,880.49. But essentially this customer, well, our staff went out to read meters and noticed really high consumption for this particular property. We contacted the customer and the customer said, yes, actually, we suspected there was a leak. And the customer said, yes, I did have a really large leak, but he'd actually already fixed it by the time that we had gone out to read the meter. And so at that time, he did ask if there was any type of leak forgiveness program, and we said yes, and he immediately applied for it and sent the paperwork into us. And according to what all of our leak adjustment criteria are in order to be forgiven, he does meet that criteria. He fixed the leak, showed evidence of fixing the leak, and also submitted his paperwork in time to us as well. So, but it is over that $1,000, so that's why it's coming to you today.
Any questions for Carolyn? Any comments or anything?
Yeah, since the customer got out there so quickly, he saved us a lot of money, a lot of water. I appreciate him doing that.
I just will add on to that, of all the years I've been involved with the board and so on, this is the way the leak adjustment works. And for the exact reasons. I mean, this ratepayer did everything to a T in order to fit into the leak policy. So anyway, there's no more questions. Anything from the audience? No? Then I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I move we approve the leak adjustment.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? There you go, 5-0. Thank you, Carolyn. Melissa.
Okay, staff reports.
Yeah, I'll go first. First of all, over the last several weeks, we've had, on the Sierra Pines front. I think we've reported to you that we have a team that we selected. I don't know if we can say the team's name yet, but we've been in negotiations for quite a while on the contract. It's going really, really well, but it's taking a lot longer than we had hoped. But we're making some progress. We didn't make it in time for this agenda. Likely won't make it in time for the 27th either, because that agenda has to go out Thursday. So it'll just be somewhere down the road when we finally bring a contract for you to consider authorizing me to sign. That's coming in the next few weeks, hopefully inside of a month anyway. As you know, for many years now, we've had monthly meetings with TUD, Chicken Ranch Rancheria, and the USBR, United States Bureau of Reclamations, on a long-term water supply contract. As of late, there's been some pretty good progress. In fact, now, for the first time, we've been looking for I have a couple of dates for negotiating. I'm not sure what we're negotiating exactly because the price is on the open market. It's not like it's a mystery, but the Bureau, USBR, would like to have some dates to negotiate. So those are on my calendar. I don't have the dates in front of me, but I'm looking forward to that. Future coming up, 28th, we have a tour of the Sonora and Columbia water treatment plants with League of Women Voters. And I hope to be just a participant in that. Trevor will be giving the tour, so that's exciting. And then also on the 29th, next Thursday, I guess that's a Thursday, we have the Regional Sewer Advisory Committee meeting at Jamestown Sanitary District at 9. It's the end of my report.
You've been so busy, you gotta have a lot to say.
Start. Do you have something?
Did not talk, did not talk about.
I don't remember what it was called.
The online, the virtual?
The virtual, yeah. What was that called? Do you remember, Abby? There we go.
2 days, and I had help from Abby and Eric, but I gave a brief presentation on our efforts with our wildfire defense plan that we just adopted, 2 parts. And I elaborated a little bit more on the our water draft points plan.
And didn't you folks also be deeply involved in that community wildfire, community wildfire prevention program, I think is what it is.
That was it.
CWPP. Community wildfire.
Prevention plan?
That's it.
I'm not sure.
That's the name of the Tuolumne County's
Yeah,
plan.
right.
And so they held an event, a preparedness event, where a lot of different agencies spoke. We were there, Forest Service was there.
There was a whole.
Train our CSD fire was there.
Yeah, a lot of fire agencies and some
Yeah.
other, the fire council was there. 108 Fire Council, so.
Yeah.
It was a public event, so for members of the public to hopefully get some good preparedness tools, but also to hear what all of our agencies are doing to prevent fire in the county.
The only reason why I was elaborating or bringing that up is that while at Aqua, I had more than numerous conversations with various vendors there that were very impressed over that, and also that we have done the firewater draft points, and also this new thing that we just finished with EN2 and staff. So it's across the board. It really woke up some people. The thing that I heard is, man, we've never seen anybody address water in any of these. So you guys really did a great job.
Yeah, and some other water agencies were in the information too, so that they can do it.
And the plan is on our website. The only other thing that just came to my mind is myself, Chief Gomez of Twin Art Fire, Nick Cashy from Cal Fire, he has a really long title. Jessica Self from Union Public Utilities District. We were guest speakers on Malode Views last weekend. I didn't hear it, but
I think it aired on the roundup weekend.
okay.
Yeah.
On the same topic.
Yeah, great. Carolyn, you're up.
Also I was going to say is that next board meeting, which is next week already, I'll be presenting and for discussion, just the first look at the fiscal year 2026 budget.
Never ends, does it? Yeah.
And on the topic of wildfire, at Aqua, they were going to preview the video. It was called California Fire Fix. Did you all see that video that many different water agencies, PCWA, EID, general managers were interviewed, and they talked about the fire devastation recently in Southern California, but a lot up over in the foothills and in Paradise. And so we participated in developing that video amongst some other water districts and through Aqua with Nick James, who did the video. And so hopefully you got a chance to see it, but we can get you the link to that video as well. And we've posted some of the short vignettes. We'll be posting that on social media as well. So, and then before Dawn and those other folks were on Motherlode Views, Dawn was the impetus to a working group that with other water agencies in the Sierra foothills to put together some unified messaging from water districts about what the public can really expect a water district to be able to do in a wildfire, versus just maybe a couple of residential 2-home fire or something from our fire hydrants. So that was a great discussion. We came up with a really nice 2-page flyer. And that went out also in the local media. So I believe, I know Emily has sent you quite a few emails with a lot of different links to some local media that we've had. We've also had been picked up by Aqua newsletter for several weeks in a row for our wildfire defense plan and our fire water draft points and the articles related to the fire messaging that we did with the other agencies and with the videos and with our ribbon cutting. So lots going on in the outreach world. Since I'm on the topic of the ribbon cutting, just wanted to thank you all for joining us on May 7th for that White Fur Tank ribbon cutting. Very successful event. It was fun. We had some good participation from the public. And so that was really great. I just wanted to thank you for being there. And then I wanted to bring up there, because one of the residents that lived down the road, her name was Terry, and she pulled a couple of us aside and just wanted to just give huge kudos to Robbie Byers. He was the foreman on the project, and you guys met him at the ribbon cutting, and he spoke for a few minutes. And anyway, Terry just said that he was just outstanding. He kept all the residents in that area just in the loop at all times, was super tasteful with and careful and sensitive about the dust and about the loud equipment and all of that. And they knew what was going on the whole time. And she couldn't say enough about him. So just wanted to recognize Robbie Byers again for that. And then another recognition we received over the phone through our customer service staff. You guys know Kalisha, you've heard about Kalisha. She gets a lot of kudos herself for her amazing customer service, but she also sends over when she hears great kudos from our customers about other people that work at TUD. So she got a call early May about our collections crew who were called out after hours to a residence who were having a backup, not in the home luckily, but outside their home. First was responded by Jack Adamak in our collections crew. He called out the foreman because he needed a little backup, and that's Aiden Whitmer. And then a couple of other crew members on the collection crew came out too, but this caller to Kalisha just went on to say that while he was extremely impressed with the specific example of TUD work, it was one of many examples of how TUD operates. He stated in multiple experiences with TUD over the year, TUD has always shown exemplary quality in the same manner. So congratulations to Rich Pitcher, the superintendent of collection team, and Jack Adamak, Aiden Whitmer, and the rest of the folks there. So great job, top notch. Top shelf. Either way. And then lastly, just wanted to share, Dawn and I both attended the Career Technical Education event, the CTE event, last Wednesday or Thursday. That was at the Tuolumne Resiliency Center. And this group is really just sort of an organizational group trying to bring in a lot of different trades in the community to help with our educational programs in the county. So Sonora High was there, Somerville High was there, Columbia College was there, and they all presented on their CTE programs that they have at their 3 schools. And man, I was really surprised. I was shocked at both high schools. I think there was an upwards of like 2/3 plus of their total students were in CTE programs. So from welding to fire to medical, you name it. And so it was really, really cool to hear about. And then the gentleman from Columbia College was also there. I think he is newer in that position, coordinating with the high schools. but there's lots of opportunities for us to get involved. They've got an advisory group, which I was told I would be added to by Brandon from the college. So just a great group of folks, just really trying to give as many options to the youth in this county for whether they want to go to college, but they also want to do a trade or whatever their path may be, but just giving them a lot of options to see while they're young in high school. So that could spur something in them to pick up a trade that they are really qualified for or their talents are suited for. So anyway, that was a really cool event. So, and that concludes my report. Long-winded.
Okay, let's bring it back to the board here. Start on this end this time.
Ready. First of all, thank you, Abby. That makes me really happy just to hear about how we're getting involved in the youth and getting planting seeds that will result in building our staff and strengthening our workforce. So as far as staff reports, director reports. So as was discussed, I attended the White Fur ribbon cutting and had a whirlwind few days, as we all did, at the Aqua convention. I don't want to give any specifics now. We prepared the next board meeting to provide some detail, but I really think that workforce development for us and outreach are two areas we definitely will want to pursue further. And the video that you mentioned about the wildfire, I missed that, so I would definitely appreciate the link for that. Thank you.
So we've been doing a lot of things. I lost my phone there. So the first place that I went was for the water committee meeting on the 1st, just to watch. Then the White Fur ribbon cutting. That was pretty impressive to me. The tank design for that. Two things impressed me. One, the design, the things that we've learned over the last 50 years, and they put them all together in that tank so that it could last 100 years. And the other thing is that you guys are thinking out 100 years. Good job. That's a pretty good thing to do. Then we went to Aqua. One thing I brought back from Aqua was in Southern California, they have a lot of grant opportunities from businesses, and it's going through a nonprofit. They don't seem to know we existed up here. So I'd like to get together with you on that and give you some of the names and addresses. They're pretty interested. And we can maybe, I brought that also back to the YSS meeting, which I went to last Friday. And that was 40 people all working together in a room, trying to make the forest better, cleaner, and a lot more resilient to fire. That was very impressive to see. So that's what I've been up to.
Dr. Reel.
I attended the water committee meeting with Director Ringen. And I also was at the White Fur water tank. And I was also at the Aqua conference. But I don't have much to say because I was still learning and trying to understand it.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I also attended the White Fur Tank ribbon cutting, and yeah, good job putting it on. Good job building that thing, just like Director Hollis said there. That's
Pretty impressive.
all the latest technology and ideas that go into building tanks now, and it's really good to see. And what a clean job. Yeah, just nice,
Yeah.
nice. And stuck my head in the pump house there, and just well thought out, plenty of room to work on things. Just the attention to detail was really good. Good job on the staff. Went to Aqua as well. Got a report here on the JPIA. Before I get to that though, Director Reel and I were in the same breakout session there, the last one there on the last day, and had to do with one portion of it was sustenance, where the ground is sinking from overpumping of the groundwater. And pretty common in the west side of the valley. But what stuck with me on this one was, this was on the east side of the valley, right down there, south of Fresno, east of Tulare. And I don't remember the name of the water entity now that that he was representing that spoke, but they had one section there where the ground had sunk 14 feet. I mean, can you imagine our infrastructure? And you have a section of how many miles? 15 miles, something like that, that had dropped 14 feet. And they have a canal that runs through there, and they had to basically rebuild that canal. And so anyway, I you know, it was interesting just what they had to go through, but also that it was on the east side of the valley, coming right off the Sierras.
I can believe
Kind of
that.
expected on the west side, but not on the east side.
It's a new thing.
Yeah, it is a new
They're,
thing.
yeah, when we went down the middle of the valley train, it used to be the almond orchards only went from Ripon to maybe Turlock. We went all the way down. We went to Merced, to Fresno, to Bakersfield, solid almonds in there. And row crops take what we found out at Aqua, 1.2 gallons per serving, and almonds take 30 gallons a serving.
Yeah.
And that's all agribusiness with 1,000-foot wells. So that's the future.
Yep. Okay, now on to JPIA, and I'll keep this as brief as I can. A couple little highlights on JPIA, Aqua JPIA, who we have our insurance with. There's 292 members, so we're part of a pool of 292 other entities, some larger, some smaller. It's interesting to note too that when a claim is suffered, Aqua JPIA picks up the first 10 million of whatever that claim might be. Once it gets above that, it gets into the reinsurance portion. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different companies that absorb that loss equally up to 500 million. So kind of interesting on that. Wooden flume loss is the single biggest loss to JPIA. It was interesting that they said that. And that was in the context of Paradise and El Dorado. So that was something to think about, you know, for what we may have planned for us in the future here. 1% of their property assets they insure are flumes, and 0.5% of that are wooden flumes. So just an interesting little nugget there. They had their audit by the Gilbert CPA outfit out of Sacramento. They got a clean audit. It's good to see. They also have an entity, a separate entity that they own 100% of. It's called the California Water Insurance Fund, CWIF, CWIF is what they call it. And what that is, it's basically an investment firm, and they take of their assets and they invest them in whatever they feel like they need to invest them in. And I've noticed it, I've paid attention to it the last few years, but it's just kind of, you know, done pretty well, but nothing really out of the ordinary. But this year, wow, big time. From 2023, the total net position was 104 million CWIF. And at the end of that was at the end of 2023. At the end of 24, it was 137 million. So they picked up 33 million in a year, their investments. Huge. And they are considering, and it looks like they're going to really do it. They're having their board meeting for CWIF here next month in Salt Lake City. And they're talking about giving a $22 million dividend back to Aqua JPIA. So you and I were talking, I was thinking then that it affected our rates for this year. It won't, but possibly next year. It better for $22 million dividend. We ought to see something, see some kind of a advantage to us. Yeah, that's right. So I'll be watching that. I'll be watching that in my next couple of JPI meetings. So anyway, I just thought that was very interesting. They are currently buying a new building because they have completely burst the seams of the building that they own now in Roseville. They've been there for 14 years. Aqua JPI has a lot bigger staff than I gave them credit for. They went into detail this year about it. And they're quite a ways above 50 employees now. When they bought their current building, 2014, they had about 20 employees, and it filled that building then. So they've gone through a lot of twists and turns to accommodate their growth, and they finally exhausted everything that they can feel like they can do. So they bought this new building, and they're going to close on it in July. So they'll be moving. So you might, if it's not, it's very close. It's 3 miles. It's 3 miles from the current location, so it's very close. And so you might have to leave some messages a little more than you normally would while they're in that transition. But they may keep the old building and just rent it out and make that a revenue stream, or they may sell it. They haven't decided what to do. So thought that was interesting. So now on to rates, what we can expect here at TUD on our insurance for the next year. Workers' comp is down 5%, so that's good. Cybersecurity, which as we all will remember, has skyrocketed over the last 5 years. That's for the second straight year now, it's staying flat. So they've gotten that squared away finally. Unfortunately, our property insurance is going to go up about 15%. That's pretty steep. And liability is going to go up 10. So we still got some bad news on that. The dental and the other stuff, everything else has been pretty much flat. So that's what we can expect from Aqua JPIA. And hopefully next year with that big dividend, we'll at least not see any increases, I hope. Maybe we'll see some reduction. Time will tell. So that's all I have on Aqua JPIA. Done.
All right, well, I want to thank you. That is probably the finest JPIA report I've ever heard since I've been on the board. Thank you very much. And I know that you brought back valuable information for staff, and I really appreciate it. I want to thank the rest of the board too for your interest there at Aqua. Everybody seemed to be diving in, trying to learn something, and I personally appreciate it as a fellow board member, because more educated we are, better the job we can do for the utility. So
Ron, just kind of throw something in there too on that, what you just said.
what are you going to call me a troublemaker now?
No, yeah.
He's got the tag for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got the proof. But anyway, you've been on the board a lot longer than any of us. I've been on here for 6 years. That's the first time I've ever been to an Aqua or CSDA or anything where all 5 of us attended. So I thought that was very good for TUD for all of us to attend like that. Appreciate all of you guys coming out. That's a real plus.
Yep.
So
Agreed. All right. So, say what? He's already been. On 4/23, attended and participated in the Citizens Planning Academy, and I'm going to have several more of those meetings. This is something put on by the county, and it's all about what the county has to go through for development here in the county. So they're trying to educate all of us as to all the problems they have, and we'll see where it goes. 4/24, attended a special TUD special board meeting. The director's tune-up is what I like to call it. So I was glad everybody was there for that. 4/28, had my meeting with GM Perkins, which I think he sometimes wishes that he could find an outdoor, hide from me, but he and I get a lot done during those meetings. 4/28, 29, 30, attended the Tuolumne County Wildfire Preparedness Town Hall meetings. It was interesting. I almost didn't attend it, but I thought, doesn't hurt. You always learn something. And it's good to see where Tuolumne County is coming from as far as fire protection and so on. So it may help me with some of the things that come up around here. So 5-1 was a TUD Water Committee meeting. I won't get into that. Everybody knows about that. 5-7 was a TUD White Fir tank ribbon cutting. We've already discussed that. And then, of course, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, we've already discussed that. The Aqua Spring Convention. I was down there, of course. And this Dawn's going to have to hide some more because I'm going to be vetting some people that I spoke to there and may have some information coming back for you folks that may help on some of the projects we got going, issues. So I'll try and get all the riffraff out of it first before I give it to you. So that's it for me. Anything? No? All right. Well, I guess with that,